Turf Hunter here. Today I'm working on a portable, movable greenhouse. I had this little wagon, a friend of mine gave it to me, and I put some cheapy wheels on it. They got a little bit wobbly. That's alright, they were I think $5 worth of tire and rim. Got some boards cut up right here, and those are just some boards that I got from some old skids last year. Put them to use. Got my drill and drilled out all of the end pieces because they're hardwood. I got a bunch of screws and I'm just going to screw all this stuff together now and finish up my base. So I've got some windows like this. I've got a couple more of this size, and then I've got some smaller ones. I wasn't quite sure which ones I was going to use, but I'm going to go with the bigger ones. And I found these hardwood boards right here, and they've got these funky hinges on them, and you'll see how I'm going to work it with the windows after I get the base of it together. So this is how I made up my angles for this end piece here. I had my son with a long piece like this. This is what we started with, and I'm just going to use the piece that I've got cut already. And I had my son basically hold up this glass in place, and I'm not going to set it all down in there, but you get the idea. I had him hold it in place here, and I had added these stoppers down at the bottom here so that my boss would have to sit in place, and then he held it up here until we got it at a nice straight angle. I measured from the bottom to the center here to see how tall I needed to make this, and this is a handy little tool that's adjustable, and you can set your angles with this. So what I did was I loosened up the nut on here, and then I went up underneath the glass, and this was sitting, you know, straight, and I went underneath the glass. I measured the angle that it was at and locked it up, and this is the angle that I ended up with right here, and that's how I made my peak. Cut the angle at that, and then added these in later. I've got the one side done here in plastic. Right there, it's very thick stuff. It was a clear tablecloth at one time, and I had some of this quarter round trim in the basement, and only one piece long enough to do this side, so I don't have one for the other side. Haven't got the other side done yet. So you can see from this side here, I wrapped it around this post and all the way down along both sides. I ran some staples down in there. It's pretty solid stuff. I believe I did mention that it was movable. Okay, it's probably a good thing that I didn't have another piece of that trim that I had used on the other side. I'm going to do this side a little bit different, and that's probably how I should have done that. But what I've done here is I've tucked this plastic underneath here, and I'm going to put some nails down in here, and this way it's going to be all covered. I should trim that off a little bit there. excess here. I had bought this hose a long time ago. I have no idea what it was for, but it is very stiff and very hard to cut. Doesn't look like much of a tube, but my goodness, this is tough stuff. This is what I've been using, a small pair of scissors, and I tried a lot of different things, and aside from using a utility knife and hurting myself again. Now what I've done is ran it along all the way around the edge here and here as well, and the reason, a couple of reasons I guess. One, for allowing a little bit of expansion there, so you can see how wide that groove is in these boards, and I didn't want to put anything in there solid, so I decided to go this route. Cut these angles on my table saw. I'm not much of a carpenter, but I get by. This hose, I've got it all the way around both windows now, and I'm going to try and get my sides on and see how that all matches up. So I test fitted these and I've taken them back off again, and I'm just going to put some carpenter's glue on the ends, help this all stay together a little better. Okay, got this all in place where I want it. I'm going to drill a screw hole in there to hold this. Alright, I didn't have too many screws on hand here, so I'm just using some drywall screws on this. Okay, that'll keep this end intact. The top anyways. Perfect. And I'll do the same for the other side. Okay, so what I've done here is I took old tobacco slat. Anyone who's familiar with this area would know what one of these is. I used to use these to hang up tobacco to dry, and they're a lot stronger than they look. And this is going to allow the water to run down underneath between here, like this, and the lid can lift up. So if you lifted this window and lifted it up all the way, what it was doing was sliding all the way down with nothing holding it on the bottom there. So I put a wire in between there. That's mechanics wire. That stuff is really tough. I realized what it started doing was going down in between here, and it's trying to pull tight up against the hinge. So I'm going to get it to pull itself tight yet. Alright. Shouldn't have to be overly tight anyway. Just has to hold the hinge in place. Got some black duct tape. This is really good quality stuff. Not all duct tapes will work as well as this, especially in the rain. Now one last thing, or a couple of last things that I wanted to do. One is my mistake that I made here on this plastic. I should have wrapped it around this so that the water wouldn't lay down in between here. So I'm going to make up for that with a little bead of silicone in here. And then I'm going to do the same all the way up the windows, all the way around the edges here, just to give it a nice seal right there, and hold everything into place nice. Okay, she's as done as gonna get. Everything's all silicone there now. Can lift this up nice, work underneath here, and I don't know what I'll do here to hold this up yet, but maybe just prop it up with a stick for now. But this side open is nice. All sealed up and totally movable. So thanks for watching. Hope you liked my greenhouse. Hope you liked the video. Hit like if you did. And thank you for watching. Man, I just messed up my silicone.